On today's show, find out how two sisters make a business out of their desire to learn new skills. Culturerun is up next. I'm Patrick Lim and I'm a first-time entrepreneur. I founded a company manufacturing and designing urban city bags here in Malaysia. And because I was new to business, I had tons of questions and challenges that needed answers. I started talking with veteran entrepreneurs and they would tell me these great origin stories of theirs. On this show, we talk to entrepreneurs about how they brought their crazy ideas to life. We get to hear their stories of adventure and challenges, or how they started from zero to hero. Okay, ladies, welcome to the show.
Hi.
You are Suzen.
Suzen.
Okay, and you're Suwen, right? Welcome to the show. Today we're going to be talking about Culturerun, but before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about what were you girls doing before Culturerun. Who wants to start first?
You can start first. Go ahead. You always start. What was I doing for Culturerun? Well, I was a film studies major, so I just graduated from King's College London. I got my degree in film studies. I came back then I went to China, travel around a bit, did a bit of Mandarin. Then I came back to Malaysia beginning of 2011, and I worked a little bit freelance here and there, was job hunting and stuff like that. And then the idea Culturerun came about. So it was really, really cool, and I was quite passionate about it, so I decided, hey, why not? I can sort of put the job hunting on a hold and just try this out for a while and see if it works out. So before that, what was I doing? Not that much, to be honest with you.
But how was it that it got you excited into coming into this line, considering the fact that you were a film major?
Yeah, it was quite different. Basically, because I love learning. Like, I'm a terrible student. I'm an awful student. But
you love learning.
I love learning.
That's a paradox, right?
It really is, but it's quite true. I hate studying. There is a difference between studying and learning. I don't like studying very much, but I love learning. And when I came back to KL, I didn't have I don't know, I felt like after university your learning sort of stops there, and there wasn't anywhere, especially back home, where I could sort of pursue it. When I was in London, when I was in Beijing, there were places I could go to where I could learn soft skills, like even things like knitting and stuff like that, or like just really fun things you could go to and you could sort of learn and get yourself engaged in. But when I came back, there wasn't really anywhere where I could go to for that. I mean, you do get your classes and your workshops here and there, but you had to sign up for such a long period of time. And what I was looking for was just something that I could go into as a one-off thing, dabble in it, see if I liked it, just learn something new and spend my time doing something productive and engaging. But I couldn't really find that here, so I guess that's sort of what sparked the idea of,
What were you addicted to? Were you addicted to the knowledge, or were you addicted to making stuff?
I was addicted to a little bit of both. I was addicted to the knowledge, actually, because I'm quite a restless person, and I'm not the sort of person that can sort of spend my time just sitting at home doing nothing, because I start to feel quite useless, and because I had no job and stuff like that. I mean, I was freelancing, but I was just kind of sitting at home, and I was just like, I kind of want to go somewhere where I can like enrich myself intellectually, but also sort of make new friends at the same time. You just come home, you don't really have that many friends and stuff, so just couldn't really find that, and I guess that's where the idea sort of came about from.
So you've been with London and then Beijing, and why did you choose to come back?
Why did I choose to come back? Yeah, good point.
The prospect of a filmmaker, were you filmmaking or
I wasn't
acting?
filmmaking. I was in film theory, actually. So I was actually looking to go into TV, so doing things like reporting and stuff like that.
So you could have stayed back in London and do a
I could have,
big career, or
well,
Beijing.
well,
And Beijing is it's a new and upcoming market, right?
It is. It definitely is. I job hunted in Beijing. I didn't job hunt in London just because of the visa situation there right now. So I went back there, but I just didn't really see a point in staying on just because of the visa situation. So I job hunted in Beijing and things like that. But when I came home, I actually didn't expect to stay in Malaysia for a long time. I was going to go back to London in September.
Okay.
But then Culturerun came about, so I'm here now.
Regrets?
No, not at all. I'm really happy. Yeah.
Okay, your turn, Suwen.
What was the question?
What's your story?
That was like 5 minutes
before?
Sorry.
What were you doing before Culturerun?
What was I doing? I graduated in 2009 from Central St. Martin's in London. So I was a fine arts major, and then I went to China as well for 6 months. That was when I studied Mandarin, and then I think I took about a year just dabbling in different industries, a lot of magazines, and then I helped out with restaurant industry a bit as well, just trying my hand at different things, trying to find out what I want to do in life. Then I went to Hong Kong and China again for 6 months, and then I came back to start the thing with my sister.
What were you doing in Hong Kong?
Hong Kong and China, it was sort of like a Christian Bible study thing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So quite fun.
So was there any point in your lives that you think that you will be an entrepreneur and start up your own business?
Yeah, actually. Never when I was working, trying to find out what I want to do in my life. But I've always sort of, I wouldn't say an entrepreneur, but I've always sort of saw myself as never working for people, because I graduated in fine arts. So in my head, I was going to become an artist. Yeah, I was not an artist, then I wanted to go something creative, which is why I tried out different industries first. But if I never did Culturerun, I would probably try to start my own thing in art consultancy and somewhere along those lines.
Do you feel that art has a major business in Malaysia?
At the moment, it's growing, but not at that level yet. I think if I would have started it, I would have been overseas, probably in Hong Kong. Yeah, doing it. Hong Kong, Singapore.
Whereby the art market is a little bit more mature.
Yeah, definitely. But I feel now it's oversaturated also with so many good artists, especially because I wanted to go back to Beijing to do it, but then Beijing is so oversaturated with amazing artists, and everyone gets their hands on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean Hong Kong is like the same thing because they get all the artists from China as well. So Singapore will probably be like the safest bet, I guess, to start growing something from there. But I mean that's on the back burner for now.
So whose idea was it to start up Culturerun?
Well, my sister and my father came up with it, and then I was in Hong Kong when they came up with it, and then they called me and told me. So, yeah.
So your dad is totally cool with.
My dad was really excited. My dad is so cute. Yeah, he was, because the idea actually came about when we both went for a singing lesson.
He went singing lesson with you?
No. I went singing lesson with him. He wanted to go, but he didn't want to go by himself. So he was just like, "You're not doing anything. Just come with me." So I'm like, "Okay, why not?" So I went, and it was really, really fun. And I can't sing for nuts, but at the end of it, we realized like this is such a nice way to spend the afternoon instead of just I don't know, going to the mamak or the movies or things like that. This was a really nice way to spend the afternoon. I mean, we're not gonna
something different.
Exactly, and we're not gonna come out being like Celine Dion or whatever, but it was just a really like enriching way. And my dad and I were talking about it, and we're just like, you know what would be really, really cool if there was something here where you could sort of like a platform where you could just try new things all the time instead of like, because this singing lesson was a one-off thing because it wasn't like a course or anything, so it was just a one-off thing. And my dad and I started talking about having all these like random one-off classes that you could just attend whenever you wanted to, and then it sort of branched out to not only have these one-off classes, but what if anyone could teach these classes, because we started talking about you have skills, I have skills. I mean, we can teach if we wanted to, if we are passionate enough about something. And I kind of grew from that. We were just like, what if we made a learning platform for the community? What if we made something where anyone could teach, anyone could learn? And then it sort of grew on from there, yeah.
Just let's talk about your dad a little bit.
Okay.
What sort of influence does he have in terms of entrepreneurship wise? Was he a big inspiration?
Well, I mean, yeah, my dad has always been a self-made man.
Right.
So from the very beginning, he was the first one that put a thought in my head about starting my own business.
Right.
Even way before Culturerun came about. Ever
When
since,
you were 1 year old, you go, you're gonna start your own business now.
Well, no, actually, he wanted me to take over his architect thing, but it was more like, you know, it's better to be your own boss, girl. You get to go to the office anytime you want. It's hard, but the rewards are much better, you know, and it really stuck with me. So it always appealed to me.
My parents are people of ideas. Both my parents, they're always brimming with ideas and stuff like that. And I guess that's why, I mean...
Oh Lord, they have like the craziest ideas.
So many ideas, both my mom and my dad. My mom especially, they have like zillions of ideas. And I think coming from a family like that, you get excited about ideas, and my dad is the guy of ideas. My mom, whereas she's the person that sort of tries to make it happen. So I guess you do have a good synergy of the both. So for us, it's sort of like we have so much ideas, but you know, ideas have to go somewhere, so they always encourage us to make your ideas happen. I mean, for an Asian family to allow, you know, your kids to study film studies and fine arts, you gotta be fairly liberal, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so yeah, they've been actually quite big influences in us actually starting a business, because they've been incredibly supportive of us. Like, my mom was the one, because I actually wasn't sure if I should go into this, because I had a job offer, and my mom was like, okay, I was 22 at that time. She was like, you're only 22, you can work anytime. But she was like, once you have a family, you know, you have commitments and stuff like that, you can't really start a business. Yeah. So she was just like, these are your options. You can either take the job, or you can either go and start this. Like, it's completely up to you. And I was like, yeah. So I chose like the latter.
Okay, so let's talk about Culturerun. Let's go round zero. What is Culturerun?
Culturerun, ground zero.
Well, Culturerun is a community marketplace of classes and workshops in KL and PJ, and we're sort of a skill sharing platform where anyone can learn anything and anyone can teach anything.
And they can do this on a website. You can just sign up.
It's all real life classes and workshops, but we use the website as a platform to connect the people who want to learn new things and the people who want to teach new things.
And where can they go for this training? Is there a physical place that they go to all the time,
in terms of well, we work together with different venue partners across KL and PJ. So we have people like a couple of venue partners in Publica linked up with us. A lot around Bangsa, but also some in PJ. All around different areas. The whole aspect of Culturerun is that when you come to a workshop or class, you're not just coming as like going to school or going to a classroom.
Right.
It's as if you are going there to discover a new place, number one. Number two, meet new people. And number three, pick up a new skill, or hopefully a passion. Discover something you like. And that's the three things that run Culturerun.
And I mean, yeah, in terms of our venue partners, the way we work with them is we call it pop-up classrooms.
Right.
So basically, classrooms can happen anywhere and everywhere you want it to be. Like, learning does not have to be confined to the four walls of a classroom. I mean, you can learn anywhere. You can learn in a park, you can learn in a restaurant, you can learn in a studio, you can learn on top of a roof even if you wanted to. Like, learning can happen anywhere and everywhere, and that's the crux of what Culturerun is.
So the people who come and participate in a Culturerun class, we know they're here for enrichment, they're here to learn about stuff. But what about for the person that is giving the talk? What would be their benefits?
Well, there's no platform like ours, or as we can see so far in Southeast Asia, even. Because no other platform can give people a place to teach others about what they love and what they're passionate about without looking at their background in terms of whether they have got a degree in this or certain qualification. Yes, that does help in terms of experience, but if you're just passionate about something you like, or you've really I don't know, dedicate your whole life into studying it. Not like study per se as in go to school, but like a leisure thing. But it's something that you love, and you love it, and you can teach it. That's all you need to teach a class on Culturerun, and that's what we provide, that sort of platform.
And I mean, our teachers, they have very varied reasons for teaching on Culturerun's platform. Like one example would be one of the guys who taught our Photoshop course. He taught a Photoshop class on Culturerun, and he's actually a founder of Individia, really nice guy. And when we asked him, why are you teaching on Culturerun, he said to us, I hate ugly designs. So basically, I want to teach people how to make good designs, so I don't have to look at ugly designs again. So, and
baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps,
baby steps.
And then like for other people, it's like because they just really love what they do. Like our swing dancing teacher, she teaches because she just wants to spread the love of swing dancing to Malaysia. She says no one knows what swing dancing is. They think it's just people swinging each other around. I love what I do. I just want other people to know about it. And I mean,
or you teach because you see there's a need as well. Because I mean, like most of the classes on Culturerun, they're quite affordable. We don't charge ridiculous prices, and you see, like okay, I'll give you an example. Our social media classes, in a corporate circle, they will go for about 200-300 or over per head, right? Or easily more than that. I've seen
easily more than
that. Easily more than that. I've seen some ridiculous prices and.
Tens of thousands I've seen.
Yeah, thousands exactly. But on Culturerun, we have teachers who teach social media, like basic social media, for 35 ringgit a class, 35 to 50 ringgit a class. That is so cheap, I mean, where else can you find that? And it's not, okay, maybe these teachers, they don't have like all these like, awards and qualifications and stuff, but they do it every day. They run companies that use it, and stuff. They've been in the business for a while. Obviously, they know what they're doing. It's hands-on experience. So I trust that they know their stuff.
And where does this $30 go to?
It goes to the teacher and it goes to us. We take a commission cut.
So there's a cut, there's a split that you share.
There is a split, yeah.
And how large is the class then, on average, and what is the duration of each class?
We recommend not more than 10 people, especially if you're a new teacher, and not more than 3 hours. Most of our classes are actually 1.5 to 2 hours long. Not many go on for 3 hours unless it's like a cooking class or something very practical and hands-on. Then obviously it will be about 3 hours long. But we don't recommend it to be too long because at the moment what we're focusing on are short but very beneficial classes. So something that you don't need to set aside a whole day to do, but you can just go for lunch, pop into a class and then go out for tea or something. Yeah.
What are the classes that's already been conducted so far? What are the most common classes that you?
The most common and the most popular?
I think popular would be.
What's really popular? Food and drinks ones sell really well.
Tea
so typical Malaysians, right?
Coffee appreciation. Yeah,
we have
an
urban sketching one. That one sells out every single time we put it out. Which one? Anything creative arts, our DIY, our craft classes, those sell. We had a jewelry out of hard. So it's not just making normal jewelry, but I had a jewelry out of hardware class. That one sold out really well. Silversmithing sells really well.
Yeah. Quite a few. I realized the market here, it's very related to food and drinks, definitely, so Malaysian, and crafty stuff, like craft anything uniquely, something to do with accessories and arts and crafts.
But some of the personal development classes do sell quite well.
Personal development sells quite well. So our public speaking ones are quite popular. I think because, as they say, what the statistic is, like 70% of people are scared of public speaking or something like that, So the ones that people see can benefit them in a very practical way also are very popular. We had a building social confidence class that's sold out as well.
Sorry, say it again.
Building social confidence.
How's that?
Essentially, it teaches you how to talk to strangers, how to initiate conversations.
Pick up lines.
No, I wouldn't really say that. No.
Teach how to pick up chicks.
That might be another class. No, this is more of a friendship network type thing. Yeah. You could. I mean, I think the teacher touched on it a little bit. If I'm not mistaken.
So what do you think this type of business? Sorry, wrong question. I think more towards of. Do you feel that Malaysians are addicted to this style of training? Do they like this style of training?
I
mean, here's my point of view.
Yeah.
In my last job, right, in my last career, we used to give free training on how to use Macs, how to use iMovie, how to create a movie, we can't teach how to make music, but we have how to edit music.
Oh, that's cool.
Right, but it has always been zero attendance, and it's free.
Yeah.
Right, so
this is one of the challenges that we are facing in Culturerun, just because that whole concept of lifelong learning is what we're trying to bring to the society here. But I think at this moment in time, it's not really there yet. I mean, it's building up slowly. I mean, you do have pockets of people who are so interested in learning. I just think that they just need to take that first step, because it can be, I mean, if you're not used to lifelong learning, if you're not used to spending your weekends or your weeknights just doing something different instead of just sitting at home. I mean, it's so easy to just sit at home and watch TV and stuff like that, but it actually takes active work to like step out and decide, I'm gonna learn this today. Like sometimes you just don't want to use your brain, but I realized that we do, at Culturerun, we have a loyal following. So people who have started with us tend to come back again and again for classes, because learning actually becomes addictive the more you do it. It's just that the first step you take towards learning is the one that's the hardest. Yeah.
The first step is always
the first step is always the hardest. Yeah. But this is what we're trying to do with Culturerun. That's why we do put out a lot of like leisure classes, things like the coffee appreciation and things like that, so that to just ease people into learning it as a more sort of casual, like relaxed sort of thing, and then maybe hopefully they will move on towards learning other things. I mean, this week maybe you do coffee appreciation, but next week, why not try strategic thinking? You never know.
I think the mentality of not just people here, but I say in general, like Asians, because if you see across all the schools and universities, is learning is confined to a school, to a university, to a tuition center.
And a one whiteboard.
Yeah, exactly. And when people think of that, even when I think of that, it's like, oh no, I don't want to. I don't want to attend. I mean, like learning is related in the sense to studying. So when people when you say, oh, there's a workshop or class, you say class, you're, oh my goodness, class. So like I remember the horrors in high school or something, or college, and that's not what Culturerun is about.
Right.
You know, we're not about whiteboards and you have to sit in a classroom style, etc., and then you just do whatever the teacher tells you to do. That's not what it is. Actually, what we promote during our classes is for everyone to get to know one another, firstly, because that was one problem that we saw. So when personally, when we went to test out seminars and other workshops here before we started it, was that I can go to a seminar, sit down, look to the person left and right, but not talk to them the entire seminar.
Oh yes.
And until they, unless somebody makes, the first step. And, people usually don't do that unless you have a reason to talk to them, right? They don't just, not like Americans and Europeans, who are just like, oh, hi, what's up,
And finally, when they begin to talk, time's over.
Yeah,
time to go
exactly.
Home.
So you are not really forming friendship. You're just there to just listen and go home. And and I realized nothing sticks when that happens. Like I barely remember anything unless the speaker is like amazing and awesome and my life was changed by it. But other than that, nothing really sticks. So what do you get out of it in the end? And Culturerun wants to change that. We actually train our teachers. We have started this Culturerun training session every month now, where people who want to teach on Culturerun have to come for this.
So it's completely free.
Yeah, so it's free.
A train the trainer.
It's like,
train the trainer.
How to teach a share shop, basically.
Yeah. So we call them share shops. We don't want to put the name of workshops or classes on it. We actually are trying to call them share shops, trying to get this new word coined, right? Because share shops are fun. It's a sharing session, essentially. So the teacher teaches you something, but from that, maybe you can also share with the teacher something else. Right. So we encourage a lot of participation in our classes. We don't want you to just sit there and just listen and go off and not make any friends. We want you to be able to make friends with the person left and right. So we actually teach our teacher how to encourage a sort of atmosphere in our classes, and we want you to be able to get familiarized with the venue, know where you're at, what they do as well, and also establish a good connection with the teacher, where after that you can follow through. And a lot of classes this does happen. Students do follow up with the teacher, and the teacher gets a mini following of students. And I mean, it's great because we're creating a community now. It's not just you come and go, learn here and there. We're actually creating a community of eager learners, people who never ever thought they could learn in this sort of atmosphere, but now they can. See? So we're trying to abolish this sort of classroom mentality, learning equals classroom. No, that's not what Culturerun is about. Definitely not.
So along the topic of challenge, what were the earlier challenges of starting Culturerun? What were so you have this idea, let's build this thing, you don't know what it's going to be called. What was the first few key things that you guys went ahead to do after calling you?
In terms of starting to develop the business?
Yeah.
I think the first challenges for us was the actual running of a business.
Right.
What does that mean? Because, film studies major, fine arts major, our business knowledge was practically zero when we started. So I think the challenges was, what does it mean to set up a business? How do we go about it? What the heck is a Sendran Baha and all these levels, What do you mean we have to audit stuff at the end of the year? All these like practical business things that we don't know about. And that was our first challenge. That it was a learning curve that was just like 90 degrees.
So how do you get around that?
Talk to people, learn straight up. I bought books, personal MBA, how to learn business without going to school, and then I told my sister about them, and then my sister both of us, we just talked to people, we talked to our parents, we talked to other older entrepreneurs and got advice from them. We learned ground up, literally.
Do you have like a specific mentor that held on to you guys and yanked you guys up, or were you like getting mentorship from multiple points?
I think it's more like this. It's like multiple points actually. I mean, like personally, I have a friend that I ran to once in a while.
Sure.
For like, can you please help me do projections, and things like that, and spreadsheets. I don't know how to do these things, and he taught me from ground up, which was good. We've also learned a lot actually from our own teachers. So we attend our own classes and we learn from there as well. Just talking to friends who started their own businesses. That's how we learned. We realized from the very beginning that to start your own business, you must learn to network and ask people for advice. You can't do it thinking you can do it yourself. It's not gonna work. Because the way you look at the world is very different, from how everyone else looks at the world. So you need to get different perspectives, and then you put it together.
Talk to someone that's already done it before.
Yeah, seriously, that was the key.
Yeah.
Like that was the key. Yeah. We were completely lost, and it was only through talking to people, and then they gave us points of research, and then we went on from there.
Now, had I started ConcreteJungle back then, right? So, any other challenges besides that?
Any other
that you could remember?
Sorry, that's my phone.
I thought it was a bird.
I'll let it be.
Okay.
Okay. Any other challenges? Other challenges that we came across? Teachers.
Getting in teachers when we first started out. So you need teachers, right? You want to start a learning platform, you have no teachers. So we started out quite small. So the way we started out was we'll rope in friends and be like, you're really good at that, teach this on our platform now. So that's basically how we went about. It was a lot of cold calling involved. We weren't sure where to look, and to be honest with you, so we would
there's no yellow pages for this.
Not at all. That's why
teachers,
when we had to actually look for teachers to teach on our platform, that's when we realized this might be something that might work here, just because I don't even know where to look for them. So we started out just getting friends to teach for us initially, and then word spread around that there was this platform out there called Culturerun, and then eventually people started approaching us and saying, I have the skill to share, can I share on your platform?
So a lot of it is very viral.
Very viral.
All our teachers are actually
Except about 2 or 3. There's some of them which I contacted personally. I found them when I googled in random, silversmithing in Kuala Lumpur, or random things like that. Then some of them were found that way, but most of it's actually virally.
Because when we first started out, we thought about what we wanted to learn.
Yeah,
that was how we started. Like, okay, we go with what we know first. So what do we want to learn? We ask our friends, so what would you like to learn? And then from then on, we research about where we can find people to teach the things that we wanted to learn. So our first ever class was fashion illustration. Very random, but it was a very good class. It went on very, very well. And then after that, it proceeded on. I mean, I taught a few classes because I have a skill, I might as well teach it, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm running a platform, I might as well test it out and see how it works. And it went very well as well. And that's when I personally discovered also, oh my goodness, what you're saying just now, why would teachers want to teach in the first place, right? When I started teaching classes, it hit me why I would want to teach again. Because it just made you feel really good inside. Honestly, like, wow, someone just, because students, when they're actually really enthralled by what you have to say and really take away something, you can tell, and they get very excited about it, and makes you excited even more about what you're doing. And so that feeling was what made me want to put on more classes, and the fact that I can actually enrich someone's life with the knowledge that I have inside, which I'm a 25-year-old. I would think that I don't have that much to offer, but through Culturerun classes, I realized that I can actually teach people a bunch of things, even though I'm 25. I'm still quite young. But
age doesn't matter. Our youngest teacher is 19. 19-year-old guy, he taught beatboxing. Really good.
Oh, not pick up lines.
No, not pick up lines.
Okay.
People here seem to have some sort of very.
I do have someone that wants to teach pickup lines though.
Yeah. We have tried putting all these sort of like romantically inclined classes.
I think they're just like shy.
But people just don't sign up because they're shy. So they talk to us about it and they say you should totally do it, but they don't sign up for it.
I think
because
they're shy.
They're shy.
Yeah.
So
we'll try it again, and this time we'll like hide the student attending list, so it's secret if you come. No one will know.
So is that a reason why you call it Culturerun?
Is there a reason why it's called Culturerun?
Would that be a reason why you call it Culturerun? I mean, generally, we are attracted to certain courses because culturally, we are, we are inbuilt in such a way that we are attracted to only certain topics, and other topics we shy away because of cultural taboos. Is that why?
No, not at all actually. No, Culturerun came about because we were supposed to be called the Culture Yard. That was our first name, but because we were going to be a stagnant venue, we actually just wanted to get one venue where all the workshops and classes would happen there. But because overhead costs for that was too high, my sister and I talked about it. We were just like we weren't even sure if this would work out, so we thought, why not just try it out on an online platform first? I mean, it's much cheaper to do it that way, and we can also reach out more to the community just because most people, use the internet. So we decided Culture Yard, we can't really use that for an online platform because it sounds a bit too stagnant. So it took us about 2 weeks to try to think of a new name. I mean, we went through names like Culture Crawl, Culture, what was that? Culture, I don't know, we went through quite a number of names before. Culture Jump, I have no idea.
Culturerun is much better.
Culturerun, so we came, and it has a Culturerun. I mean, it runs off your tongue quite nicely, so we're like.
So how many courses did you all go through before you felt that it was viral?
What do you mean?
I mean, it's obvious the first few classes like, holy crap, this is such a crawl. How do we get more people in and all that? And how do you? When was it that you finally realized, it's getting easier. It's getting easier. There's momentum, there's traction.
It's up and down. I wouldn't say that we hit this point where sales just skyrocketed.
Right.
No.
Because I told you still have the problem of that mentality thing with the classrooms and the learning. Yeah. So, I mean, like in terms of the teachers, where it was suddenly easier to get in teachers was when we started getting more media attention. And that was March. And then the teachers just came in. So every week we have about 2 submissions already.
So this is really surprising to us actually, because honestly speaking, when we first started Culturerun, we thought that our biggest issue would be finding teachers. We didn't think that the problem we would be facing would be finding participants, because we thought, people want to learn, right?
That's why we thought everybody was like us. But no, it's not true.
But it's not too bad actually. There's ups and there's downs, and certain share shops sell better than others. So it really depends on the share shop and things like that. But there are ups and there's downs. But in terms of people coming in to teach, that one has like my sister said, since March it has gotten a lot easier. People come to us, they just put up their share shop online because we are really easy. We are a one-stop platform. Literally, if you want to put up a share shop, it's a click of a button on our website. You just fill out the form, we screen through it, find you a venue, you have your workshop up.
Yeah, but it's now that we are trying to control the quality.
Yeah.
Across all the workshops, make sure that all the teachers know that the way that we teach it is different from
know how to train.
Yeah, how like normal trainers or schools or universities.
Correct. Otherwise, you will have no control over quality, and it actually reflects more on Culturerun rather than
definitely does. Yes.
Yeah.
But most of our teachers are wonderful. They're very passionate, very enthusiastic.
And that's the sort of teachers you want anyways. You don't want a teacher who does it because they're there to just, get their paycheck every month.
Yes.
And because they have to. You want teachers who teach it because they are truly excited about what they do and they really want to change the world, one student at a time.
But honestly speaking, if you were going to come on Culturerun to teach, that's why you would do it, just because it's not, it's an as and when sort of thing. It's not as though you put up a class and we pay you monthly. It's how many tickets you sell or what you're teaching. It's very dependent on you as well, on what you're teaching and whether how you market your class out to people. So,
but it's a really good side income as well.
Yeah, it's a great
that's
side
right.
income. Yeah.
Honey money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So do they come in long term wise, or do they sign a contract, or
No, so it's like I said, it's as and when.
Right.
It's the way we work is that when you feel you have a skill to share, put it on Culturerun. You don't have to sign up with us for like 10 classes at a go. I mean, you can if you want to. Some of our teachers do that. They say, I want to do 8 classes, things like that, and that's completely fine. But we're trying to provide the flexibility there for people who just really want to share their skills and maybe earn some side income doing that. Yeah, so the flexibility is what we are trying to make attractive for people.
Okay, what would be the top 3 things you will share with someone who wants to start up?
The first thing I would say is just calculate how much risk you're willing to take to start. Because obviously when you set up a startup, everything is a little bit, gray. You don't know whether it's going to work out or things like that. So the first and most practical thing I'll say is calculate the risk you're willing to take. Are you willing to give up your job for it? Are you willing to go without pay for maybe a year, sometimes 2 years, like to follow your idea, to follow your passion? And are you willing to, give up a lot of free time and things like that to really put all the effort and money into it? And the fourth one will be, are you willing to, because when you start a startup, you have to have the funds to do it. So are you willing to either inject the funds in or actually take out a loan to start out your business? So calculate the risk that you're willing to take, and basically if you're willing to do all these 4 things and you feel that these are the risks that you can take, and even if it does fail, it wouldn't be like the end of the world for you. And if that's, what you think, like, you're willing to risk, then go for it. Yeah.
That's a good one. Right. Second.
Second. This is tips, right? For
top 3 things a person should think about. Yeah, if they want to start up.
Okay. I think I've been repeating this quite a bit, but why you want to start in the first place is, why would you want to do your business in terms of how does it benefit society?
Sure.
Because the origins of business in general wasn't purely money making. It was to address the needs of a society and to benefit the community for the better, to see how they can meet the needs of a community,
to solve a problem.
Solve a problem. And I believe that all businesses should have that as their end goal, not the money, but more of, if this business happens and it grows big and etc., it can actually meet this problem in society, and and basically move nothing's coming to mind at the moment, but remove that problem essentially. So does your business address a problem in society, and can it overcome that problem? If it's yes, if your business is actually a solution to it, then I think you should go ahead with it. Because as I was saying, nobody knows the problem as best as you do and the solution to it, like you do. And if nobody else knows it, then nobody else is going to start it.
Yeah.
So you should just go for it.
And it could be a very simple problem.
It could be a very, very simple problem. Yes, I mean, some of the big businesses in the world, they address the simplest problems in the world, and they actually do have solutions for it. Maybe you can't solve it fully, but if you can partly solve it, that's pretty good already, I think. And for Culturerun, the problem in a sense was that several problems. Number one, learning was deemed as not fun and stuck in schools and colleges and etc. And people weren't having fun learning. The second problem was that you had to spend tons of money to learn something that you think you might like. But see, Culturerun solves that problem by giving you the chance to learn different things without spending tons of money.
Yeah.
So I think for any entrepreneur, you have to figure out what is this problem society and what will happen if my business is not there to solve it.
And whether you have the intellectual property or the technology to solve that problem.
Yeah, of course you need all that. Yeah, but you can always bring people to help you to do that. Yeah, but it starts off with you first. Whether you think you can solve it, if you think you can solve it, just go for it.
Third thing?
I would say, how much do you believe in your idea? I think if you really want to start something, you have to believe in it first before other people can believe in it. If you don't even believe in your own idea,
how are you going to sell it?
How are you going to sell it? How else is anyone else going to believe in your idea? I mean, even if it's a really stupid thing. I mean, look at Angry Birds. I'm pretty sure the guy that made it must have believed in it in some way or another, right? If you don't believe in your own idea, how else is anyone else going to believe in it? And I have one more that I just want. Can I just put in one more? Would that be okay? Just don't think too much about it, because I have people coming up to me and saying things like, "How did you just start Culturerun?" And I'm like, I have no answer for that because I just started it. And they're like, no. You have to calculate all of this and stuff like that.
Which brings back to your number one.
Which you should, definitely. Yeah, calculated risk. And you definitely should calculate the risk, but you shouldn't calculate to the point that it scares you off doing your own business. Because that has happened before, and I've heard many sad stories where I know people who believe so much in an idea, but because they
paralyzed, completely paralyzed because they overanalyzed.
Exactly, they overanalyzed it. They sat on the idea for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. In the end, the idea just lost its fizz, and they didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah,
that's a big shame. So, yeah.
That's a good one too. Okay, so where do you feel Culturerun is right now? 0 or hero?
Personally, I think it means personally to both of us.
Okay.
Personally, I still feel it's more towards the 0 side.
Right.
At the moment. I hope that in a few months it can be a hero.
In a few months? Wow, that's being very optimistic. That's good.
You have to be very optimistic, I think. Because I say 0 right now, because we're still very, very young.
Right.
We are under a year young. And we've accomplished quite a lot. I mean, way more than we've ever imagined within a year. But I still feel that we have a lot more to give to the community and a lot more to receive from them as well. And we're not that level yet that I can call, Culturerun a hero. Maybe we are a hero in some people's eyes from the feedback that we've heard, but still, I think there's still so much more to be done. Yeah, and so much more that we can achieve and that we can help people to achieve as well.
You have anything to add?
No, that sounds pretty good to me.
Okay, before we wrap, do you have anything to plug? Do you have a new, planning that you want to talk about? This show is coming out next week, by the way.
Okay. Well, it's a bit, we were running a campaign called Do Something Different, but that's going to be over next week. So just go on Culturerun, check out shareshops. If you like anything, sign up for them. Just try it out. You never know.
Culturerun.com, right?
www.culturerun.com.
Right.
If you have a skill to share, log on to Culturerun and please do share your skill, because the community is always hungry for new things to learn. Because we actually are getting emails from people going, I want more things to learn. You guys need to put on more stuff. So I'm like, okay.
Feed me, Seymour.
which is good. It's a great thing. It's an amazing thing. I love it when I get emails like that because I'm just like, yes, people want to learn. People want to learn more things. So that's an amazing thing. So yeah, if you have a skills share, please log on to Culturerun and share your skill with the community.
But come for our Culturerun training as well first.
Because share shops, right?
Yeah,
share
because
shops.
you learn a lot on how and why we run it the way that we do, and that will help. We teach people also how to write up a proposal, a class proposal.
So there is a process.
There is a process
to progress before a trainer can actually be certified share worthy.
Well, certified. I don't like that word.
Yeah, before they can, we like to say lead a successful Culturerun share shop. We teach them how to write a proposal, how to market their workshop, share shop, and how to get in pictures for it, how to make it appealing, and how to actually run it on the day itself. And also how we work.
It's really basic things, just a lot of organizational skills, and there's a lot of things where we just let them know about what our mission and our values and things like that are, just so that they understand that it is a community platform. We want it to be really friendly and warm. So yeah, it's just really simple things, but they make a big difference. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much for your
Very
time.
much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, what am I supposed to say?
My big idea.
My big idea.
My big idea. My big idea is a community where everyone is passionate and empowered to be the change they want to see in the world.
Now? What? Now? Yeah? Okay. Oh, okay.
My big ideas are the result of brain farts.
My big idea is to transform the city with art.
This space is not big enough for my big idea!
My big idea is to make a bigger idea.
To reach for the stars and to be a change maker.
To help other people who have a small idea to make it reality and success.
An online luxury retail store featuring brands that do not have to reach to Malaysia.
To create a one-stop shoe emporium.
To motivate and inspire people to do awesome things for other people.
True religious freedom.
Is that okay? I just said it.
My big idea is that young people's greatest skill is their ability to ask for things, whether it's time, money, and that's because they've been doing it since they were babies, and as you get older, this skill tends to deplete itself, so we all should harness our youth to do amazing things while we can.
To change the world through love, one person at a time.
Our big idea is to have everyone run with Culturerun.